all we're doing is taking that gallon of syrup that the producer has made and evaporating more water out of it to make candy. What I'm doing here is we're taking the fancy or the light, medium, or not the medium, but the light syrup, and cooking it down to about 236 degrees. We're cooking with steam, so you can see it's fairly fast. And then it's poured out into our pans. Since we are cooking such a large amount of candy, we have to put it in the cooling troughs to cool it a little bit quicker. Now that helps. Once it gets cool enough, we pull it back out, finish stirring it, and when it's just about right to pour, we take it out and we pour it in our hopper there and pour it right down the table. We have different size hoppers for the different size molds. What we just poured today were sugar cakes. We pour those about 1,000 to a batch. That's the only tin mold that we use. And the rest of the candies are all poured in what we call a live rubber mold. And we pour little leaves and big leaves, and we have Easter bunnies for Easter and hearts for Valentine's and Santa Clauses for Christmas. So we have molds for every season.
Do you want to say anything on here, too? want me to get the interior?
Yeah, this one's sweet. Like I said, there's nothing burned on it. Nothing. Tires too. I want to show this and try to.
The other side here. Okay. Wait, hold it there for a second. Okay.
He says, oh no, I want $10 for it. I'm feeling kind of sorry for the guy. From 7. Oh no, I want 12 now. The bargaining never stops. A collector will probably have to go back and renegotiate with that guy. But hey, enough of that story. I'm going to fix this tractor here up just for shows. There's a lot of people that fix them up just for antique and classic tractor pulling. There's one going on right now. We're up at Clemson's in Chardon, Ohio, where state qualifying pull is taking place. Farmers, antique enthusiasts, and collectors put their tractors in competition. Since farmers had tractors, there was always a big conflict of the John Deere being better than the Farmo, the Massey Harris better than the Mampus Moline, and the Oliver was better than them all. Classic tractors are put in different categories. From 1939 on down, those are considered antiques. From 1939 all the way to 1957 is considered a classic tractor. That's the same as a 1957 Chevy would not compete against a Model T Ford. And in between those classes, there are weight limitations that you have to have. Weight limitations where your tractor has to weigh a certain amount of poundage in order to compete against each other, where a large tractor is not competing against a smaller tractor. They all have to make weight with the driver on the tractor. All tractors have to have the drawbar the same height from the ground. All tractors in different classes have to have the same wideness of tires. And there's also an RPM limitation. A tractor can only rev 10% higher in a stock class, and they also have a class called an open class where a tractor can run 20% over in any size tire. So everybody has a very fair chance to compete in this pull. A tractor pull consists of the tractor being hooked to a large flat boat, and as the tractor pulls that down a marked track, weight is being transferred on that sled. A rolling motion being forced to a dead sliding motion. As that tractor pulls that, the wheels drive a large box containing a lot of weight moving towards the tractor. And the tractor that pulls it the farthest down that designated track is the tractor that wins the tractor pull. I've been actively pulling for about 20 of my 30 years of collecting, and I always get excited at these pulls. And I also am involved in emceeing this pull. No matter how many people I meet or have met over the years I've been pulling, there's always new stories and new people to meet. There are many tractor manufacturers represented here today, but some models you really don't want to take to a tractor pull because of the rarity of their parts. Not necessarily that they didn't run real well, just there's not a lot of them around and there's not a lot of parts available for these tractors. Of those tractors is the Cockshot Co-op line, which I have under wraps at home. There's a couple of sharp-looking tractors here I'd like to show you. This one, a 1954 Cockshot 40, and up on the hill, a 1951 Co-op E4. I'll explain the relationships between these two tractors, but first I'd like to talk about the Cockshot. I'm extremely proud of this Cockshot because it was chosen for the 1996 December calendar tractor of Antique Power. In 1829, Ignatius Cockshot started his farm equipment business in Bradford, Canada. He set many industry standards through his time in making agricultural equipment. Cockshot and Massey Harris were the only true Canadian-built tractors. One of the things that Cockshot came out with was styling of their tractors, the roundness and the smoothness of their sheet metal. A 6-cylinder designed engine from Bruening manufacturing on their tractors. Heavy rear ends. Cockshot had one of the heaviest rear ends on the market. A lot of these tractors were modified for tractor pulling, even putting car engines, even airplane engine in these for tractor pulls. Another feature was a row crop design rear wheel, where you could adjust it for the different row widths by flipping this dish from one side to the other and placing this wheel on the other side. Other tractors had a sliding axle where the wheel would slide on it itself. One of the most important features that Cockshot came up with in the industry is independent live power takeoff. What I mean by that is this PTO could be engaged to run different implements pulled behind the tractor at any speed of the tractor. Other tractors, you had to push in the clutch, put the PTO in gear, then as you moved, that power would be transmitted to the back equipment and started all at once. This made no difference, on and off at any speed. This is still used as an industry standard today. Restoring this tractor was a family affair. My wife and 2 children helped me tremendously in this tractor. We got parts from 3 other tractors. One tractor, the sheet metal, the other tractor, engine components, and the third tractor, the adjustable wide front end. They won't let me use this tractor very much because of the amount of work they put into it. The only time they let me run it is for parades and the 4th of July. After we're done here, it's going back under the sheets up in the barn. Well, let's go up on the hill, and I'd like to show you the relationship between these two tractors. I'd like to thank Carl Ruffner for letting me use this Co-op V4 this afternoon. Cockshot made the Co-op tractors. After World War II, farming was at its highest. And Farm Bureau, which is now Country Mart, saw a need to market farm equipment. They sold seed, feed, and fertilizer, plus they wanted to have the equipment to be able to put that into the ground. Country Mart, or Farm Bureau, put out a bid for somebody to manufacture their tractors. Cockshot got the bid. And these tractors were sold in the United States orange. They're identical tractors except for the front ends, but as they went down the assembly line, the man would pick up a orange sprayer and spray this one orange, and he had an order for a Cockshot, he'd pick up a red spray can and spray the Cockshot red. That continued till about 1953, where Cockshot didn't believe that Co-op Farm Bureau was doing a good enough job marketing their tractors. So they broke off the relationship, and you were able to buy red Cockshots in the United States. The downfall of Cockshot came about in 1955, when Allis-Chalmers bought out Buda, the engine supplier for Cockshot. It left Cockshot without an engine manufacturer for their tractors. They tried Continental, they tried Hercules, but with no luck. In 1962, they were bought out by Oliver Corporation, which in turn was bought out by White Motors. We just covered a few tractors. There's many more out there. Minneapolis Moline, Oliver, Farmo, Massey Harris, Allis-Chalmers, Huber, Holt. We intend on covering them all in future shows. We've had a lot of fun putting this show together. I get excited every time I find an old tractor like this inside an old barn. But I'll tell you,
Sometimes I get the creeps when I'm inside a barn. It seems like the old farmers are still around, guarding over their equipment. For Tractors, I'm Jim Turles.